Welcome to Civilization Wars. I have torn apart the previous video of this, and we're going to record a new video today because I feel like after a couple of play sessions I can do the game much more justice this time round. I'm not perfect by any means, I'm not a professional at this game, we still only played it a couple of times, but I definitely can't be worse than the first 2 times we played it. So I'll explain what this game is, but think for now Castle Fight. It's very much like Castle Fight, where you've got one lane, well, not necessarily one lane, 2 lanes, except one team basically versus another team, and they have lanes of which they send units down. Those units are produced from building buildings, which then can be upgraded into specific types, such as horsemen, then you get horses, archers, then you get ranged units, axemen, then you get strong melee type units, and so forth. So let's have a look. Up at the top we have the docks, which is a really cool feature. It's similar in the sense that you build... Oh, hang on a second. Speaking of building, let's build a couple more camps. Because you want to make sure you mass at first. Fill up your food, because I made the mistake in the first playthrough of getting too many researchers early, and I lost the lane. Because the lanes... Let's explain the lanes, actually. At the top, you have the docks. That's like the sea battle. In the middle, you've got... Well, you've got ground units. You can have potential siege. You can have all sorts of units. So the middle and the bottom lane are very similar. They're basically ground. Whereas the top, you have seafarers, where the boats go up against one another. And if they manage to reach the enemy shores, or the enemy reach your shores, units will come out from the boats once they hit land. So it's a really cool feature, that is. So let's keep building our warriors, because we've got 200 gold. You get income over time, so that's how much gold you get, and that's how much lumber you get per proc. So you can see it's still coming through. And as we control lanes, which I will get onto in a moment, as we control lanes... Let's get this finished, let's get this finished, let's get this finished. You get bonuses if you control these points, such as a food resource, which should give everyone extra food income. So that allows you to build more buildings, which can then produce more units, and so forth. I'm still trying to understand the game, but I've almost got every single thing up. So now that we've got 14 out of 13 food, which is basically the maximum I'm going to get for this point, unless I build more granaries, which can be produced to provide an extra 2 food, I'm going to start researching technology. Now, in order to progress through these tech stages, this one, ancient techs being the first one, medieval techs being the second one, and so forth, you need to research what is required in here before you can upgrade your capital to then be able to research the next tech type, such as medieval. So I'm going to have to go through these first. Now, you want to be paying attention to what your enemy is building as well, before you do build too many of a certain type of unit. You can't go too far wrong with archers though, so as soon as I can, I'm going to upgrade an archer camp, maybe 2. Because I've maxed out my food at the moment, unless I want to get granaries. But I'm going to start getting some units. And then you start paying attention to what your enemy are producing as well. Because these units that come through, they have different attack types. They have different armor types. And as you can see, it's pretty clear what does what to what. So piercing is good versus those guys. So getting some archers in the back won't necessarily be a bad thing. So whilst you're doing that, the next thing to do is to continue getting upgrades, because you want to work your way through to the point where you can get to medieval tech and so forth, so that you can access stronger units such as catapults, ballistas, and so forth. Now, if we take a look at the boats up the top here, they have a very similar deal. They have different types of boats that each have different attack types, armor types, and out of those boats comes units with those attack types and armor types. So raiders, for example, are all about siege. So if they manage to hit the shores, they can do siege damage, which is obviously very good versus towers. So that's the general gist of the game. I feel like that's the main point. You have 3 lanes, so a player down each lane, and they fight for that lane for control. The towers stop things from getting out of control too early on in the game and allow people to produce armies that can then counter one another. So we're looking at Spearmen here. If I get... Well, Spearmen are pretty good because they can only be countered by gunpowder and shock at least. They do extra damage versus light and horseback. So I might want to get myself some axemen. So I got to look into how to do that. Bronze working. So I'm going to just build another granary or two maybe at the back whilst I'm waiting for that to research. And then I'm going to start getting some axemen at the front. Because axemen are very solid units to begin with. Because they don't have very heavy counters. Gunpowder and shock, we haven't really got to that stage yet in this game because the games have been over by that point. Although this game can go on an incredibly long time, so you've got to be a little bit wary of that. But you get gunpowder and shock much later into the game. So I've already lost the food, so I need to get control of the lane again if I want these granaries to make much of a difference.
Off I go then.
My research is almost complete. I'm going to upgrade these two into an axeman camp. And then when I get more food and maybe more control of the lane, I can look back in towards building more warrior keeps so I can produce more and more units. Down at the bottom, Kidson's trying to hold it. He's going for horsemen and archers. And up at the top, the boats are the ones I least understand. Why do I say there's 3 lanes? 3. Well, that's my accent. So if you got an issue with my accent, then I'm sorry. That's your problem, not mine. It's how I talk. So that's a big enough issue for you, then thank you very much for watching. Make sure to thumbs up and take care. Have a good day. But if you can get past my accent and the way I pronounce things, then continue to watch and listen as I say free or fire archer. That's fine. So what are we dealing with? Horsemen now. Well, my archers are good versus horsemen. They do a little bit of extra damage versus horseback. So I just need to stand my ground with more axemen. So when the next bit of income comes in, I'm going to keep getting those axemen. I think axemen are one of the best units to start off with, actually. But I didn't mind getting a few archers at the back. The good thing about archers, when you get them en masse, is if you do start to make a turnaround, they stack up and up and up. Until eventually they hit the towers and then they start getting killed themselves. So one thing you can do, bear in mind, is I could help Sealand Wolf right now, but I would lose more control of the bottom lane. So I kind of need to regain control of the bottom lane before I do that. But he does, as you can see, need a bit of help. This is pretty bad what's happening there. That's really unfortunate. We don't really want to lose a tower, but it's going down pretty quickly. We would rather have a long enough game that I could show the game off, so hopefully he can get control. If not, I can always build some docks, but I need more farms for that, so I need to get control down this lane, really, ideally. So, maybe some more archers for now, because I can't produce any more buildings unless I get one more granary. So let's get the archers for now, and then consider a granary. Whilst trying to get control of the lane, I've stopped teching, which is a bit of an irritation. Yeah, get an upgrade, repairing that tower. You need to control that tower. You can repair. I don't think it costs resources to repair, and it's so important because those towers are stopping you from dying or stopping your buildings from getting destroyed. But yeah, like I say, I can build up to 3 docks over here to help him. He does need help, but at the same time, I need to get control of this lane, and then I can go and give him some help. I've got the units to try to get the control back. I'm fighting it at the moment, so I'm going to head over north and maybe build a couple of docks whilst I seem to be pushing back. Hopefully I can continue this push so I can get control of that, which will allow me enough food to build a couple of docks. But it's not looking great. I need to get control of the middle. Come on. Push, push, push. Plunder is coming down here.
Yes, my lord.
So if I can get a couple of docks, that will just relieve some of the pressure. It's actually a smart tactical thing, because it is a team game. You do want to try to help your allies. So, for example, bottom lane's looking strong, so he would be in a position, if he really wanted to come and build a couple of buildings here. But you can only build so many buildings at your allies. But there are ways to research a capability where you can increase the amount of buildings you can put in an ally's lane. If you do overbuild more than 3, there we go. If you overbuild more than 3, then you're going to get taxed on your income, so you want to stay within the build limit. It's a bit like income tax with the melee games. So now that we've got that, we're going to just upgrade that into an archer right at the back. So our back line is basically archers. We're going to get some melee. I'm not sure what I'm going to fill in here. Axemen and archers is good enough for now. They're pretty damn solid. You can see they're doing a good job down this lane. And I've now built a couple. Maybe... no, I haven't got enough farms. You can upgrade your windmill, but you need to get a whole bunch more researchers before you can do that. So I tend to just build a few granaries first, because you need to go like halfway into medieval tech before you can even get the upgrade for this, so it takes too long. But hopefully by building a couple of docks there at least, that will help keep sealing in the game. Top lane is starting to get control. That means the food is going up, so I want to jump over here ASAP and build more of these whilst I've got that food, plus I've got that as well. So hopefully I can get another income before they take this back, because once you're over that point, you can drop down, but you're not going to lose the buildings that are producing the units. So come on, next income in a moment. Oh, it feels like forever when you're waiting for it. There we go. I don't know if you can build like within blocks of blocks, so I like to leave a gap just in case, because I don't want my units getting stuck, but I'm pretty sure they don't have a collision size when they come out of the buildings, but I'm playing it somewhat safe. Make sure you build behind your towers as well. You certainly don't want to be building in front. So I've got a bunch of lumber that can be used for various things, such as trading for gold later on. I think you can also build trade markets, food markets, material markets. I don't understand those too well, other than the fact that the more of those you build or upgrade, the more resources you get over time. But of course, by building those... oh man, okay, you've got the improved tower, so at least that's going to allow you to stay alive a bit longer down there. I need to keep getting researchers. I still haven't gone for horseback. I could get spearmen. I don't mind the idea of some axemen, some spearmen, because the spearmen help to counter the horseback. The axemen are just solid. Excuse me. And the archers are just solid DPS at the back. So I think I'm going to get some spearmen. Oh my. Oh bloody hell, I think allergies are starting to come through now. It's sneeze time. So you can also see what he's going for. Horseman camp, you can click on this, spearman camp, fire archers. So in case you couldn't tell from the units, I'm going to keep sneezing. I'm going to keep sneezing for a few minutes now, I think I've been triggered. I can feel it, but it's not quite going through. Alright, getting right in. Once I get the right in, I think I've upgraded almost everything here, which will then allow me to tech up, but I think you need like 500 gold for that. I'm not entirely sure. Let's get one more spearman. As you tech up through the ages, you get access to the next upgrade for your archers. You can make them into longbow, or you could go for mounted archers, and with spearmen, you could go for pikemen, and axemen can become swordsmen, and so forth. Start to get control. The top's looking good, but how long until someone else tries to build and help out JR? Tech is almost complete. We're going to see whether I can upgrade my main capital into a medieval capital. No, I need masonry and feudalism. So if I remember correctly, once you've got those researches, you get access to a library. That was the thing I've missed out on. Yeah, it's Research City is what this map is. It's Castle Fight, but with a hell of a lot more depth, because there's so many researchers in the game that allow you to go down so many different tech paths. So once you've researched everything that's available here, you then build a library to then get feudalism, which will then allow you to tech. But you also need masonry. So feudalism and masonry. There's also other researchers here that might benefit you under the circumstance. So if I was pressured by super, heavy horseman camps, I might want to get myself conscription so I can upgrade my spearmen into pikemen and so forth. But at the moment, sitting at 2020 food means I've got a lot of power down this lane for now, but it does look like that's going to turn around shortly. It's gone for fire archers. They're like siege damage, so good versus fortified and modern armor. I'm not sure what modern armor is though. I haven't seen that. I've got heavy armor, I've got light armor. What else does spearmen have? Spearmen have heavy armor as well. Okay. So tech is going through feudalism, masonry. And I guess I'll get one more point into Spearmen.
What?
I don't tend to go for Horsemen. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I don't know the game well enough to know which is the best type of thing to build.
Yes,
I'm going to take some time to bring my worker up to the top.
yes, my lord. Right.
Actually, I'm going to get myself another granary here.
Yes, my lord. Right.
Get one more dock up the top because I can fit a spot in. I feel like players should try to build in other people's lanes if they've got the permission to do so without being taxed. Because, for example, I can only go up to 20 food right now. Now that I've lost a point, you can see that it's gone down to 20 out of 19, but I've still got that 20 food coming in. There's the 21 food, so hopefully get up there before they take the midpoint as well. Although archers on the high ground here is very nice. Long... Oh, goodness, they're still... Yeah, okay, coming up here to build a dock is a good idea. In fact, I might want to come over here and repair if I can get over there quick enough. Oh my god. They're killing my worker, though. Oh no. I'm going to have to build a new worker. He's getting wrecked at the top there. That's not good.
Our allies' town is under siege. Ready to
Alright,
work.
I'm going to tech up my medieval capital. That was 500 gold. One tower down. You want as many towers as you can get, to some degree, at least if you're under so much pressure. But bear in mind that they cost food. So not only do they cost gold, but they cost food, which could be used to produce units that go down the lane. So there's that to be considered. Alright, ironworking wouldn't be a bad thing. That's swordsmen, pikemen. I like pikemen. What have they got? They've got lots of archers, so what good against archers? They just take 100 damage. Piercing, gunpowder, normal. So normal damage. That's melee. Shock damage. Oh, that was shock. Okay. They do shock. I'm sorry. Well, I was wrong then when I said that there's no shock damage. That's shock. You do have shock quite early on in the game. I thought shock and gunpowder... Gunpowder then is the unusual one. Spearmen have got piercing. Maybe if I upgrade them to swordsmen, they get melee damage. Normal damage. I don't know what gets normal damage then. Maybe just the normal warriors. Either way, I've teched up. I've got access to a medieval worker, which can get yourself catapults and some other stuff. I suppose I can build one of those for now. I still wanted to get a dock up the top, but... I've got to see.
Research complete. What is it? What?
Those archers obviously stack up over time.
My lord.
17% dodge chance, horsemen do. It's not bad. I want to get improved buildings if I can, actually. Get swordsman, get swordsman. Cancel that for a second, get swordsman. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing at this point. Holding the line just about. Kidson's still in trouble down here. I might have to actually build something down that lane, because top lane's looking better. So when do I get normal damage? They still got shock damage. I don't know how to get normal damage.
Our allied town is under siege.
I'll have it up in no time.
He can build a granary. I can't upgrade that until machinery. Just keep getting researchers as well. It's not a bad idea.
What is it?
Oh no. Towers are getting wrecked down here. Try to repair one of those. Worker gets automatically focused as soon as he goes to repair, so I can't continue repairing that. One tower almost down. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, my guy died.
No, not like that. Let me
He was building, of course. Got picked off by an archer or something from range. It's quite hard to help your allies when they're getting screwed, because your workers keep getting wrecked. He's going for longbow, so he's really focusing on the archers. So I want to be able to counter these, but I don't know how to get normal damage. I would have thought that, like, you know, warlords and all that, swordsmen should be providing those kind of benefits, but no, cavalry seem to have shock damage as well. So maybe the only ones that have normal damage are the actual savage warriors. Oh god, it's still going wrong up here.
I'll have it up.
It's like trying to put out a bunch of fires. There's too many fires everywhere.
No, not like that. Let me do it.
Job done. Forward.
We lost the towers quite early, to be honest. We've lasted longer than this before losing towers, so this is unfortunate. Towers are even more expensive now that I've upgraded that. Improved tower. I can increase the build limit, which means I can increase the amount I can build in other people's lanes, but I've already done quite a bit of that.
What is it?
Alright, they're starting to look better down that lane. I think I should get you my most upgraded units, which would be the Axemen, into the Swordsmen for now. Top is still getting wrecked.
No, not like that.
Yes, me
Let me
lord.
do it.
Obviously, I haven't put much tech into the dock stuff, but you can, in the same way with unit buildings that produce units down the middle and bottom lane, these upgrade into different types. For now, I'll just get you the simple docks, because it's better than nothing. Alright, that's it. I can't build any more down anyone's lane.
Forward. Job done.
I think Kidson still needs to put something up the top lane now, because he's doing much better down the bottom lane.
What is it?
You're interrupting my calculations.
Forward.
Mathematics, that's what we're all about.
Gold is required.
Ooh. The warlords still with their shock damage. Okay, someone else must have researched to increase, because you could research to increase the build limit of other players as well, because I've just gone up to 5 out of 6. I'll get you one swordsman, Barrett. No. Let's see what's going on. What's going on with the tech? Still got a bunch more to do before we can move into this one, which starts to allow you to upgrade the granary, and that's when you want to start looking into income over time, the marketplace. Yeah, could get the market to sell the goods. I don't know what else you use lumber for other than trading it into gold.
Research complete.
I would normally go for trade market if the top lane is doing good, so we want to try to control the top lane as best as possible.
Build more farms. Righto.
Or we can invest in the middle. Build more farms though. Construction. I need to start looking at what they've got. They've got a lot of those pentacles, so heavy, so they take extra from shock. So what does shock damage? It doesn't tell you what... Oh, right. The Pentacotta. Which one of these is the Pentacotta? Is that the just standard one? It doesn't mention anything about Pentacotta. Oh wait, weak against Pentacottas. Which one is strong against Pentacottas? It says it's weak against Tyramies, and it upgrades into a Pentacotta, so I'll get the Tyramy. 2 of them. 298 gold hype. Feels like Legion TD when you're 2 gold short of a tower you want. Mid lane will hold for a while, so that's okay. I'll still concentrate on upgrading that, and then maybe I can get those marketplaces. The marketplace dream, but we need farms for that as well. And we also need tech to finally upgrade these windmills, but keep getting the tech. Bottom lane is holding. It's starting to fall. Mid lane is somewhat in trouble. Top lane's looking much stronger now. One day I will get units that do normal damage. Nothing seems to be that strong versus archers. Wow, yeah, top's starting to push through now. Just hopefully that doesn't backlash too much. Tech, 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 tech. Education, that's starting to get to the good stuff.
You're interrupting my calculations.
Right, let's see what the Savage Warriors bring out. Is it the normal damage? No, they just upgrade into Swordsman and Pikeman, which I've already got access to. And they're not going to be as good. They do have normal damage though, but they're not so strong. I want strong units that can do normal damage, because those guys are going to get slaughtered really quickly and easily, and I can't exactly mass them. So it's kind of strange there's no unit that I can upgrade that does that. At least not that I can see at the moment, whilst I'm trying to put out so many fires. Yeah, bottom lane's starting to push back. Let's get you another Warlord's Keep in a second. Well, I'm helping you. Doesn't tell you whose players are who. That is a lot. And I don't think one tower is going to cut it. Jesus. As soon as you start losing the buildings, it's game over, really. Because it's just down... Well, it's an uphill battle. Yeah, pikemen isn't a bad idea. They got a lot of mounted units. But they just got a hell of a lot down there anyway, to be quite frank.
I'll have it up in no time.
Oh, that's looking bad. You probably shouldn't have gone for Marketplace. You went for Marketplace. You can't really afford to do that unless you're already winning. Unless you want to trade your resources. If that allows you to trade your resources, fair enough. Top is starting to backlash. I think Kid Ceiling is to build a bottom no matter what. No one has actually built in other people's positions apart from myself. Hopefully top will swing back. I've almost got everything. Slacker team. There goes the worker.
I'll have it up in no time.
Build more arms. Build more arms.
I can't get a worker back though until I can get the food up. And I can't upgrade. Well, I can't. I've at least still got one worker over here. Just to keep building these granaries, I don't have a choice. I want to get the tech to upgrade them, but I don't think you can come back from this. There's too much. There's only way. The only way is to build more down there. But the buildings are going down now, so that looks like GG.
Our allied town is under siege.
Well, it's not as far as I wanted to get into the game, to be quite frank. I wanted to show off more, but unfortunately every time we play this, it kind of does end around this point because I don't think everyone's experienced enough yet to keep alive long enough. So it's a good enough point to call GG. I've got the elements of what the game is about and roughly how it works. We just haven't gone too far down the tech tree. So I'll have to call it here. And once again, we're kind of stuck at this point. Enlightenment tech, and perhaps one day down the line, if you enjoy this map, we can do it again, or we can get to the point where we can last long enough to actually see the other techs. So I'll call it GG now, because that's basically game over. It's just, you can't come back from that. GG.